Back on MLB Tonight as we zero in on the Colorado Rockies. How about this? Lowest single-season ERA in franchise history. Kyle Freeland, remember a couple of years ago, dialed in, fourth in the NL Cy Young voting at that 2.85 ERA. Ubaldo Jimenez had that magical first half in 2010. He finished third in the Cy Young voting. And Yoli Chacin in 2013, 3.47. But let's dial it back to Kyle Freeland. And Kyle, thanks for joining the program. Say hello to Harold Reynolds and Carlos Pena and Fran Charles with you. And I know 2018 was unbelievable for you. And, you know, progress is usually not a straight line. There's some ups and downs, and you suffered some setbacks in 2019. How excited are you to get going in 2020? Because I know that you feel like you figured some things out.
Yeah, definitely been chomping at the bit ever since, spring training started. I made the adjustments that I wanted to in the off season. Went through spring training, started seeing some really positive things. Was very motivated, was very eager to, start the season. Then obviously everything got shut down, had to put everything on hold, but then continue to work on the things that I've been wanting to. And I'm really looking forward to, that first game back.
Hey, Kyle, it's Harold here. I got so many questions I'd love to ask you, but I'll just stick to this. How close are you, do you think, to being ready to compete in the game?
I'd probably say I'm pretty close. I mean, these 3 weeks of spring training is definitely going to be plenty of time for me personally to get back and be ready to compete in a game and eat some quality innings. I've been staying on top of my stuff, continue to throw bullpens, got live BP under my belt, really, keeping my arm in a certain shape to where I'll be able to ramp up very quickly.
Kyle, with the situation right now where there was a forced pause, you really went to work and you took advantage of the time. How are you preparing through these days that you weren't planning for, but you really used them to your advantage?
Yeah, that was one thing. Once I realized that this whole the whole pandemic and spring training and the season being put on hold, once that happened and I realized that it was going to be a lot longer than I thought, that's when I kind of sat down, told myself, like, hey, listen, like, this is something that you can take advantage of and that you can make a positive out of a negative, and continue to work on my mechanics, do things the right way, and be in constant communication with my teammates, with what they're thinking, and our coaches that have been helping me smooth everything out. But definitely took this negative and tried my very best to turn it into a positive.
Cal, do you have a different mentality just to pitch in Colorado? Obviously, a couple years ago, I would say you probably even surprised yourself at how well you pitch, even at home. But just because of the way Colorado is, do you almost have to, and I don't want to say like set your sights down a little bit, but realize that it's going to be tough to pitch an ERA under 3, year in and year out?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, and I mean it's been talked about ever since Coors Field was born. About ball flying out there, it's a hitter's paradise, pitcher's nightmare. But for me, as long as you look at it as a challenge, you can accomplish something special. And I've shown that with kind of what I did in 2018. Like you said, progress is not a straight line. You're always going to be there's always going to be learning curves. There's going to be struggles. No one's career every single year is perfect and incredible. But there's hiccups, but there's also a lot of learning curves that you can learn from, and you can always be better in yourself to pitch at a place like Coors Field. So for me, as long as I keep looking at it as a challenge, I think I'm going to be on the right side of things.
Hey, Kyle, I want to ask you about COVID-19 and the testing. It was one of the last things that finally got finalized. And looking at all the protocols, man, it's going to be a lot to get you guys on the field. How concerned are you, and what are some of your colleagues saying about the testing?
I think, with all the protocols, how the Rockies have been communicating with us on how we're going to go about our day-to-day activities, our business, how things are going to be split up, separated. They've done a great job with communicating with us on how things are going to be done. So obviously for every single team, every single player is going to be a day-to-day learning curve for us, just because there's really no blueprint to this that we've ever had before. So it's it's learning on the fly. But I feel confident in what the Rockies and the MLB have laid out for us and how we're going to go about this process.
All right, go back a couple of years, and you guys had some spurts where, you guys were like 35-20 or 38-15. And, obviously in a 162-game season, you're going to have some good runs and maybe then have some runs where you slow down. But how important is it going to be to have one of those good runs early with just a shortened 60-game schedule?
Yeah, you definitely can't lose sight of your goal, and you gotta come out of the gates, with your head on fire, looking to hit somebody in the mouth and looking to win a lot of games very fast. Most seasons, every season you're looking at it as a marathon where you're trying to win as many games as possible over a long period of time and make sure that those ruts are very short and those highs last very long. But this year it's going to be a dead sprint for 60 games, and now we'll see. But like I said, you're going to have to come out blazing and ready to win ball games right out of the chute.
No, it's going to be interesting in 60 straight games, the battle of that. And it's really going to come down to organizations. How confident do you feel, or how deep is your organization, I would say pitching-wise? Have you got a chance to see some of the young guys that may be participating?
Yeah, got to see some of the young guys in camp. I haven't seen, obviously, what all our roster is going to look like, how it's going to shape up, after we get through spring training and the start of spring training. But this is an opportunity for some young guys who are chomping at the bit to show what they can do and maybe surprise some people. But I think defensively and offensively we're great. I mean, you look at our 1 through 8 on our lineup, and then our pitching, we're definitely looking to rebound from last year and show what we can truly do like we did in 2017, 2018.
Kyle, we'll let you get back to work. We appreciate you spending some time with us, and best of luck to you coming in this 2020 season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.